So, what does it actually mean to be free? I bet it's not what you think. We're about to dive into this really powerful idea about personal freedom. And it's not about, these big, grand gestures. It's something way more personal, way more internal, and honestly, a lot more profound. Okay, let's just jump right in with a question for you. Are there hidden traps quietly stealing your freedom right now? It's a wild thought, isn't it? Because so often, the things that hold us back the most are the things we can't even see. And you know what? It turns out there are two of these traps. And the thing is, they're so subtle, so kind of baked into our everyday lives that we just don't notice them. They're flying completely under the radar, but they're quietly shaping how we see ourselves and, how we see everybody else too. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to break down these two identity traps, these forces that can seriously limit our own happiness and our sense of peace. So remember this number, 2. That's it, just 2. 2 totally different but also deeply connected traps. One of them is pointed inward, right at ourselves. And the other one? That one's pointed outward, at everyone else. So here's the big reveal. The first one is the internal trap. That's the feeling that you should be someone else. And then there's the external trap, which is assuming everyone else should be just like you. Let's dig into that first one, the internal one. All right, so this first trap, let's call it the script. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's that nagging feeling that you're living a life that was written for you, but definitely not by you. Wow, this quote it gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? I mean, really think about that for a second. A character in someone else's story. That perfectly captures that feeling of just going through the motions, Like you're playing a part in a play instead of actually living your own life. So, at its core, the script trap is all about this pressure we feel to fit into a certain mold. And that mold can come from anywhere, right? Our family, our culture, just society in general. It's that little voice in the back of your head that's always whispering, you should be this, or you should do that. And let me tell you, it's a huge price to pay. When you're constantly living by someone else's script, you start to erase your own wants, your own desires. You end up burying your real feelings just to fit in. And after a while, you can completely lose track of what actually matters to you. It's like your internal compass just breaks. Okay, so that's the first trap. Now for the second one, which honestly, this one's even sneakier. We're going to call it the mirror. And this one is all about how we look at other people. So, the mirror trap is that super quiet, totally hidden assumption that everybody else should think and act just like you do. We just kind of assume that they see the world the same way we do, that they have the same logic, the same values. We basically expect them to be a mirror reflection of ourselves. And of course, what happens when they don't? When they do something completely different? We get frustrated, right? We get confused, maybe even a little angry. We're sitting there thinking, why can't you just see it my way? It's so obvious. Well, that frustration, that's the trap in action. But here's the thing, the one simple truth that just completely shatters that illusion. Their path through life, every single second, every high, every low, every lesson learned, has been totally 100% different from yours. And this brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole thing. And I mean, this is really it. You are unlike anyone else on this entire planet. And listen, that's not just some feel-good motivational poster quote. It is a deep, fundamental reality. And once you really truly get it, everything changes. I mean, think about it for a second. Literally, no one has lived your exact life. No one has felt your joys or your heartbreaks in the exact same way you have. So all your beliefs, your instincts, that gut feeling you get, it's all been built from this unique web of experiences that belongs only to you. And guess what? That's true for every single person you will ever meet. So, if that's true, if we're all that unique, how do we actually get free from those two traps we talked about? Well, it all comes down to one thing: honoring that individuality. Not just in ourselves, but in everyone else too. And that brings us to 2 steps. They sound simple, but they're not always easy. Step 1, to beat the script, you have to be who you are without shame. Step 2, to beat the mirror, you have to let other people be who they are without resentment. See how they're connected? They're 2 sides of the very same coin.
And that second step is it's so incredibly important. We do this all the time, right? We put these invisible expectations on people. We have this secret rule book for how they're supposed to act, a rule book they've never seen and never agreed to. Real freedom for us begins the moment we stop doing that to other people.
And that leads us to this final, really powerful thought. The moment you stop seeing someone's different point of view as a threat, and instead you just see it as, well, the reality of their unique journey, that's where peace starts. So I'll just leave you with this question. What would change in your life right now if you saw every difference not as a problem you have to fix, but simply as a reality you could try to understand?